Peace, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to a Consciousness Awake video. Had a pretty insane, very interesting astral projection experience early this morning. I'd like to share the details of that with you in just a second here. Before I do, I just want to say there was a community poll voting regarding Dwarf Planet series, if you've heard of it or not. Also, if you've heard of Three-Eye Atlas, possibly comet, possibly huge spacecraft, disguised in a rock, so I just wanted to kind of get a feel of where everyone was at and how closely they were following these types of things. So if you haven't voted yet, go to the community page, and on the posts you'll see that's the last two things on there from a couple days ago. So I want to make a video about all of that next. I wanted to do it today, but I had this really crazy astral projection experience, and it's still fresh on my mind. So I'd like to just kind of describe that, and then the next video will be connected to the polls I did a couple days ago. Okay, so that's the plan for now. So very, very crazy experience. Well, I've had a lot of pretty weird, insane astral projection experiences throughout my life, but this one was very interesting, and it's all just really fresh on my mind because it happened earlier this morning. So, where do I start, right? Let me drink some coffee. Okay. So, early this morning, like happens a lot, like when I have spontaneous out-of-body experiences, I just become consciously aware while I'm asleep, like it happens a lot. Sleep paralysis mode, vibrational state, all of that good stuff. And in this instant, I projected away from my body really quickly. I went about 2/10 of a mile. Maybe it might even be a quarter mile away from where my physical body was in my bed. And there's a park, a skate park stuff, basketball courts, playground, trees, grass, all that stuff. I just went over there, and I was just kind of roaming around, kind of aimlessly. Like I didn't really have any real intentions. It just kind of all just happened the way it did, right? Gotta love these spontaneous OBE opportunities, right? When you're not prepared for them, right? So, and then, about a minute goes by or whatnot, I'm doing my thing, and what I see is what I call astral rays, okay? I'm not sure if other people call it astral rays, but, like sometimes, like, especially early in the morning, how the sun comes through your curtain or blinds or window, and it just shines like that solid beam of light through your living room or kitchen. You can see little dust particles floating in the beam of light. We've all seen that, right? I just saw it in my living room a few days ago. And when I saw that, it reminded me of these astral rays I've seen a few times before in other out-of-body experiences. So this time, I see it. So it looks like a beam of light, but it goes infinitely. There's no end to it. It just goes right up into the sky. And when I see these astral rays, there's a spectrum of astral color vibrating within the light beam. And I have a cover of a certain book that kind of depicts that spectrum of color, which I would call astral colors. Let me show that to you real quick so you kind of get a better idea of what I'm trying to describe. So here we go. Just like that. So see this color, these colors here? And then especially these highlighted ones with the blues, yellows, greens, reds, etc. So that's what I'm seeing. Those colors vibrating in these astral rays when I do notice them coming through the etheric sky. Okay? So just to give you kind of a visualization of what I'm describing. So this time though, since I didn't really have any agenda in this spontaneous out-of-body experience, I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why don't I just dive right into that astral ray and just see what happens, right? Because I've never done that before. Or at least I've never thought of using them as a way to transport, you know, travel to some other spot, right? So as soon as I dive into it, I can feel a pull, heavy force, heavy pull, and it just sucks me into the ray, into the beam of light. And for a few seconds, I mean, I don't even know how fast I'm going. I mean, I am going fast, super fast. And then a few seconds later, it's almost as if I just get spit out by the ray. And I'm just kind of like levitating maybe 5 or 10 feet above the ground in what I would just consider a random ARC. ARC stands for Astral Reality Construct. But this one's like really small. You can tell it's tiny. It's a tiny little world. And then as soon as I'm just kind of levitating there, I just come down to the ground. And in front of me is a huge hotel. 5 stories, just big. I walk up to the entrance, and then I guess the best way of describing this is it looks like a ski lift, okay? You know the ski lifts with the little seat, right? You ride up the mountain. It just kind of comes down through the entryway, and it comes down real slow, and it stops kind of in front of me, except the seat was kind of real loungy, like cushiony, you know, like really comfortable and stuff. But the design of the whole thing was like a ski lift. And I sit down. I sit down in the thing. It starts to move upward, going through the entrance, going into this hotel structure. And then after a few seconds, it felt like a ride. You know, I felt like I was at Disneyland or something. I went into the place, into this big, huge lounge area, entryway area, reception kind of area. There's a few astral beings just kind of randomly doing things and walking around and whatnot. And so my first inclination was to try to stop one of them and, you know, ask him about where I'm at and, you know, who's in charge, what is the place called. You know, I like to ask, usually that's what I do. You know, I like to research and ask questions. That's how I get a lot of the information and things I describe in some of my other videos, is because I'm actually engaging with these beings and just getting any kind of data or information to just kind of figure stuff out, right? Now, of course, in a regular dream or in a lucid state in the dream, you know, the engagement with the dream characters and how they interact with you and stuff is different. It's different than when you're interacting with actual consciousness that's centered in these other bodies in an ARC in a different dimensional space. The interaction is totally different. So, you know, I'm about to do that, and right then, this lady comes down a hallway and says, "Hello, hello. Thank you for, thank you for arriving," right? And I was like, "Well, where did I arrive to?" And she said, "I'll explain that in a second. Let me introduce myself." And then she tells me that her name is Gina Connor. And then she goes on to say that she died in Texas in 2013. I don't know any more than that. I don't know what city or, you know, how old she was when she died or any of those types of things. All I know is her name was Gina Connors, and she died in Texas in 2013. And the way she looked in front of me was, she was white skin, blue eyes, and this really like thick, dark brown, kind of black hair, straight but a little curly and wavy, but a ton of hair. Like you never see so much hair, you know, on somebody. And then she says, "Well, I want to explain to you why you're here, but let me first give you a tour of the place." So I start to walk with her And what I notice is there are no pictures on the walls. There are no mirrors anywhere. There's no bathrooms, no toilets, no running water. There's no kitchen or food or refrigerators or nothing. It's just a huge hotel structure with just a bunch of rooms, and all the rooms are just connected with like different staircases, stairs going up, stairs going down, different hallways, just intersecting. Like it looked like a big, huge maze of rooms in this big, huge, like 5-story, hotel. So apparently they don't eat there. They don't use the bathroom there. There's no food. There's no waste. There's no running water. There's no showers. They are just existing in this place, right? And as I'm looking at all this stuff, observing these things, then I'm asking her, like, well, why did I get here? Like I told her I was astral projecting from Oregon, and I was like, you probably know where that is because if you passed away in Texas, you're familiar with Oregon. And I just jumped on a ray. I dived into what I call, as I'm describing her, as I'm describing to you, what I call an astral ray. And she said, well, it wasn't intended for you specifically. It was just intended for anybody who was willing to dive into it and to come here, right? Because they were asking for help. And I said, well, what do you need help with? And I get that this is more kind of a random thing. I randomly went out of body spontaneously and kind of randomly got there. But at the same time, she said her intention is that she was sending out the astral rays because she's trying to track someone to help them. Okay. So then I said, well, what do you need help with? And she said, well, me and all of these other astral beings that are here, staying here in this world, we've been stuck here for a while. Some of the other beings have been here for a long, long time. She said that when she had passed away in 2013, she was religious. She's Christian. And she said that a figure came to her, and it looked like Jesus. And this figure said that that she was going to go to heaven, but she had to just go to a waiting room, or just kind of just wait for a bit somewhere else before she can actually go to heaven, right? And then she just kind of went along with it as she described. And the being looked like Jesus, so she trusted what she thought was Jesus. But what happened was, it wasn't Jesus. This being led her to and put her in this ARC with this hotel, like with these other beings. And once she was there, she was locked in energetically. And once she was locked in energetically, the being then showed its real face and gave its name. And she told me that this being's name is Ashamande. Not sure if I'm saying that perfectly, but that's just the best I can remember. Ashamande. Okay? I have not researched that name. I have no idea what it is. But that's what she said. Ashamande. I shouldn't say that 3 times. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so these other beings with her are kind of just stuck in this small ARC, and they've been placed there by this other being, Ashamande. And this being hasn't come back. She hasn't heard anything. They've been stuck there. And I said, well, what do you mean by stuck? Like, because I was trying to tell her, again, her name is Gina Connor. I was trying to tell her, well, you're not stuck. You can just fly out of here. You can just spin, do spins and make your own portal and just go somewhere else. And then she said, well, we can't. We're stuck. We can't get out. And then, so what I did was, okay, hold on. And then we went to this, like, kind of this back patio area with like nice paver stones and these cool. I mean, it looked really neat. And she was out there, and there was some other these beings that are supposedly just, I guess, trapped in this little ARC. And I'm standing there. It's like, are you guys able to levitate? Are you guys able to fly? Can you do this? And then so I start to levitate up about 5 or 10 feet. I'm just kind of hovering there. And they are looking at me like, no, we can't do that. And I said, try. You know, and I'm trying to like help them, right? And they can't get off the ground. So there's got to be some kind of energetic thing happening there, you know, with those astral bodies to kind of destabilize them from being able to do some of the things that I can do when I'm in astral projection, right? So I don't know. I don't know what that is, and I'm trying to figure out why that is, but I don't know yet. But anyways, yeah, and you know, and that was pretty much it. You know, that was pretty much the experience. I didn't really, you know, help them. Well, I mean, as far as helping them goes, I mean, I tried to talk to them about flying out of there and trying different techniques to, you know, to go to different, you know, different parts of the astral structure, do this or do that. But it's almost like they just didn't have that ability. It's almost like their true abilities as an astral being have been diminished, or some of that energy as part of that has been taken away, or it's been compressed down. Does that make any sense? So yeah, very interesting. And they're just stuck there, and they've been they put there by Ashamande, whoever that is. But what's important to note, though, is this woman, Gina Connors, that I ran into in the astral structure with this experience. What's important to note with this is she specifically said that when she had died in 2013, she was religious, and she was approached by a being that looked like Jesus. Okay? So what does this tell you? This means that there's a lot of trickery. There's a lot of trickery going on there. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this Ashamande had multiple, you know, little ARCs just, you know, kind of all over the place. I'm assuming this is astral level 1 or 2 or somewhere around there. And he's just like holding consciousness, you know, slash consciousness being centered in those astral bodies, and he's just holding them in these little encampments and these little ARCs and stuff. Captive, hostage, I don't know. He must be, I said Ashamande, I don't know, he, she, whatever that being is. Obviously, there's something to gain here for this being. Like, this being is gaining something from tricking people after they die and putting them and keeping them stuck in these little prisons, these astral cages, right? For whatever purpose. Siphoning energy, I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense that he's siphoning energy from all of the beings, because again, why can't they levitate? Why can't they fly around like I can? You know, so that makes me wonder. But I'm gonna leave the video at the 19 minutes. I don't want to make it too long because it's my phone. It takes too long to upload for my phone. But yeah, in the next video, I want to talk about Dwarf Planet Series, 3-Eye Atlas, and some other stuff connected to all of that, and some other OB experience I've had with asteroids and stuff. So I want to kind of go there, you know, soon, maybe a couple days. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.